And this is Supervisor Richard Forster going to talk about our meeting of April 9th. Always like to see the next generation in Amador County and keep the businesses going. First up on our agenda on the Tuesday meeting was the discussion of the Jackson Valley Rehabilitation Project. This involved the whole project, which is basically going from the intersection 124 and 88 all the way down to the west to the county line. But they have left a big piece of the puzzle out, and that's the, as you're going westbound on 88, a left turn pocket is not being installed at the intersection of Martin Lane and Highway 88. It's a glaring oversight. Most of the locals recognize that. Even ACTC sent their traffic representative down to look at the site to see if it is necessary. It was pretty apparent to her that it is a major safety concern, because when you're sitting in Highway 88 waiting to make that left turn lane, you have traffic coming up behind you. If you're unable to turn because of eastbound traffic, it is a major safety concern. So we are working with Caltrans. John Gedney was there, who represents our area for District 10. We don't want to shoot the messenger, because John is always trying to do the best for Amador County, but he's got to work with the high-ups at District 10, who, sometimes they just don't get it. That's about as simple as you can put it. But there are a couple of issues here. Design immunity. They're trying to make this work now. They have a mock-up of a design, but there are two PG&E poles that could have been moved if it was included as a project within the project. They don't want to go and try to get a mandatory design exception, because that opens up all kinds of problems. There is plenty of funding. It looks like environmental is not the issue. If they can get past that right-of-way and the design, either the design immunity or have those poles moved, then we should be able to get this done. Next up, we had all kinds of legislation to talk about. The Board of Supervisors looked at Senate Bill 132. This has to do with the mountain lion being a protected mammal under California law. It started in California Wildfire Protection Act of 1990 when it was a proposition on the ballot. The voters, in their wisdom, voted for this proposition. Now the legislature wants to strengthen it so that if they are being predatory, as wild animals are going to do, and take out livestock, they don't even want you to be able to use lethal means to dispatch those animals. They want non-lethal procedures implemented, unless the mountain lion can reasonably be expected to cause immediate death or physical harm. Now, the only time you're going to be able to know that is probably at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning when they are out hunting, which is what nocturnal creatures do. We know we have an abundance of mountain lions in our county. Other counties are the same since this law passed. What's happening is they're infringing on each other's 200 square mile territory, which a mountain lion roams in. The youngest and the oldest, who happen to be the weakest, are going to go after what's easiest, and that's domesticated livestock. So this is going to make it even more difficult. What this does essentially is propagate the shoot, shovel, and shut up scenario that hopefully we don't want to utilize. But you know what? They're making criminals out of people when they attempt to pass legislation like this. And by the way, they are overriding the legislation, the proposition language, by finding that this is consistent with the purposes of that California Wildfire Protection Act, which is just ridiculous. But you can see legislation over and over like this now. We do have some friends in the legislature. Frank Bigelow, our assemblyman, is talking to Rich Gordon, who is one of the co-sponsors of this legislation, and seeing if we can change his mind. Assembly Bill 134 has to do with the California Concealed Weapons Permit, and right now anyone that has a Public Records Act request in can get the names and home addresses of those people that apply for a concealed weapons permit. This would basically take them out of the list of eligibility on the public records request. Our Veteran Service Officer Terry Sanders was in and supported Assembly Bill 296, as did the board, with a letter which would increase the funding for veteran services offices in the state of California by up to $11 million. And Assembly Bill 350 would increase the diameter of the stump diameter of trees that can be harvested from 18 inches to 28 inches and 24 inches to 34 inches in special circumstances of economic hardship. By the way, that's being carried by our Assemblyman Frank Bigelow along with Democrat out of Freeman, Assemblyman Bob Wykowski. So you can support that by calling Assemblyman Bigelow's office. Last thing the board did was approve a boundary line adjustment and merger on the Reed Leasing Group. This did have some controversy because neighboring residents, a couple, are not in favor of it, and we'll talk about that more in the future. 223-6470. If you have any questions, give us a call at the board office. And at this time, we have to go over to our Rome segment and take a break after that.